What's going on today, YouTube? Today we got the Los Angeles Chargers 2022 season review and schedule breakdown. That's not what the name of the video is, but that's what we're going to go with because that's what I said. So, as you have heard, if you've watched the last three videos, the Chiefs season, the Broncos and Raiders seasons, I think the Chargers are going to be amazing this year. I believe that they win 15 games. As you can see, I'm not even going to wait till the end of the season or at the end of the video. I think they win 15 games. I think they absolutely, and I honestly think they could go undefeated because the games I have them dropping are one against the Chiefs and one against the Rams, and I think they could win both of those games. It just depends on how the team's playing at that point. They made like I said in the last three videos, they made the most quantity and quality of starter additions I think any of the teams in the NFL have this season, maybe ever. I mean, they've got a top 5 corner in J.C. Jackson. They got a top 10 edge rusher in Khalil Mack. If Zion Johnson adds or pans out at left guard, they solidified the left side of their offensive line. So they already have Derwin James, already have Joey Bosa, already have Jay Herbo, already have Austin Eckler, already have Keenan Allen, already have Rashawn Slater, already have Corey Linsley, already have Mike Williams. So and Asante Samuel played great last year. So with Kenny Murray, if Kenneth Murray can take that step into being one of the better linebackers in the league, I think the Chargers can be absolutely outstanding. But going towards the offense, I mentioned him a little bit. Obviously, Jay Herbo, in my opinion, is a top 5 quarterback. I think he is outstanding, especially at his age and what he's done already in the NFL. I think he's going to be amazing. Long term, too. Oh, I just had a voice crack. Sorry. Long term, I think he's going to be absolutely outstanding. With the receiving duo of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, I think it's going to be an amazing one this year as well. You add Gerald Everett at tight end. I think it's going to be a great receiving core. Palmer is their wide receiver. I cannot for the life of me right now remember his name. Obviously, you have Austin Eckler and Isaiah Spiller in the back. Is it Spiller? Yeah, it's Spiller. Rookie in the backfield. Or not, jeez. Rookie running back in the backfield. Oh, my Lord. So, and then obviously, like I said, Corey Linsley, Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson can add value. That's just perfect, solidified left side of the offensive line, and the right side is a little bit more of a question mark. But they got good guard play out of the guy last year. I can't remember his name. And then this year you have, I can't remember his name, playing right tackle. I can't remember his name right now. But I think with the offense, staying pretty much the same, another year in that offense, this will be the first year that Jay Herbo has had the same offensive coordinator and essentially the same coaching staff for, consecutive years in his entire career. Yeah, granted, he's only in year 3, but still. And then that defense is getting the additions that they did this year, I think just put this team over the top. Obviously, the Chargers have had ways to poop this out in the past, but that was with Phillip Rivers, not Jay Herbo. Week 1, I have them picking up the game against the Raiders. I just think that they're better. Honestly, I'm going to say that for a lot of these games in some version or the other, but I just think they're better. I think the Raiders made a lot of great additions this offseason, but I don't think it'll be enough to counteract the additions that the Chargers made, especially with the Chargers, I believe, already having a better team than the Raiders. So we'll have to see how they pan out. Week 2, I have them picking up the game against the Chiefs. I think they split it with the Chiefs, and coincidentally, I have them both winning in the opposition stadium. It'll be hard for the Chargers to go into Arrowhead and win, but I believe they do so. And I believe if they do so, I believe they could take both games, but right now I'm going to have them splitting. It could go both ways. They could lose in Week 2, but also win in Week 11. Week 3, I have them picking up the game against the Jags. They're just better. The Jags just have not taken that step. I believe Doug Peterson was a great hire for Trevor Lawrence's development, but I think it takes a couple years. Week 4, I have them picking up the game against Texans. Texans are just bad. I'll say it like I've said in every video. I believe Brandon Cooks is the only really star player on that team. Derek Stingley is going to have a great rookie season on defense, but I think Brandon Cooks is the best player on that team. Week 5, I have them beating the Browns. So as of right now, Deshaun Watson is still suspended only 6 games. So this is obviously during his suspension time, which I believe, they drop against the Chargers here. If that 6-game suspension stands, I believe the Browns will be lethal after that. I believe Deshaun Watson will pretty much, take over the league by storm forcefully. Probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, Week 6, I have them picking up the game against the Broncos. I just think they're better than the Broncos. I think they have a better overall team than the Broncos, and I think where the Chargers stand out at star power, they're better than the star power of the Broncos, and I think they have it in the same positions on the same sides of the ball. Week 7, I have them picking up the game against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are in, sort of a rebuild type thing, giving their young star players contracts, trading for draft picks, stuff like that, to, build towards a better future, because obviously they didn't see it with Russell Wilson, or at this point in Russ's career, you know what I mean. Week 8, they have their bye. Week 9, I think they pick up the game against the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to be really bad. I think the Falcons will be really bad this year. Week 10, I have them beating the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this one I think could be one of the games that it goes back and forth. I don't think the Chargers have a lot of those games that could, go either way. But this 49ers game I think could, depending on how Trey Lance plays. Trey Lance comes in and shreds up the league like Jay Herbo did when he was, second-year player. 49ers could be lethal. In Week 11, this is where it gets tough. Obviously, like I said earlier, the Chiefs games make it tough because the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. They've been great for the last few years. I do believe the loss of Tyreek Hill and the replacement of either Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, or Sky Moore will hurt that offense, but obviously you still have Travis Kelce. It just depends. It just depends on a lot of things. Injuries are, at this point, could take a major factor. Just essentially, I hate to say it because I hate when the NFL makes these comparisons, but essentially it comes down to a quarterback duel. Who's going to, outdo the other one, Jay Herbo or Patty Mahomes? In Week 12, I have them picking up the game against Cardinals. Like I said in the Denver game, I believe, or the Denver video, Kyler Murray at this point does not want to play football, and that hurts him. Obviously, if you don't want to play football in the football season, you're not going to play well. And I don't know why I just said and. I could have just went on to the next point. If you guys watched the Rams-Cardinals playoff game last year, it was like midway through the third quarter. I think there was like 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Obviously, the Cardinals were down by a bit, but there's a whole quarter and a half to play in a playoff game. Things could switch up very, very easily. And Kyler Murray was just sitting on the bench. He just looked defeated, and it was, like I said, midway through the third quarter. So I'm not high on Kyler Murray. I don't think he's, going to be a star in this league for a long time. His very first start was against the Lions. I got to watch that game, not in person, but through the NFL Network app, and he was having a hard time seeing over the offensive line. He was doing a lot of out routes, and granted, he has changed since that point. But I just don't think when you're that short and you have to look over a literal wall of men, it's going to be that easy. And it helps him with D-Hop, and he'll have D-Hop back at this point. But I just don't think Kyler Murray is the guy. Obviously, the Cardinals they just gave him a contract, but, what do I have to say? Week 13, I have the Chargers taking the game against the Raiders at home. Or obviously away, but I was saying the Raiders at home. The Raiders, I just think, like I said earlier, just depends on how well the offense meshes. There's now a lot of mouths to feed with Kenyon Drake, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Bryan Edwards, Darren Waller. So I think Derek Carr could obviously, I think at his best this year could have an MVP type season. At his worst, could absolutely collapse with the amount of people he has to throw the ball to on that offense, and just give touches to, because obviously Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake can also run the ball. In Week 14, I have him picking up the game against Miami Dolphins. I think by this point, the Tua time in Miami is over. Essentially over. I think he'll still be starting by this point in the NFL season. But I don't think, because after this year, it's the fifth-year options for this draft class, so I think they don't pick up Tua's fifth-year option. I think they go out and look for a better quarterback next year. Depending on where they finish this year, it could even be in the draft. It could be his alma mater, whatever it would be, Bryce Young. Depending on where they draft, I think they could possibly be that bad, but we'll have to see later on in the Miami Dolphins video. Week 15, I have him picking up the game against Tennessee Titans. I think by this point, Derrick Henry is tired. His workload will obviously be held back from what it was last year, considering he was on the pace to reset the record by like 300 touches. But I don't think, when you have the type of injury that Derrick Henry has at running back, and especially in his play style, that you can repeat the seasons that he's had in the past. So without Derrick Henry, being that outstanding rusher that he's been, losing your wide receiver one, replacing him with a rookie and Robert Woods, not having a clear tight end one, with Derrick Henry obviously being your RB1 but having limited work time. I don't think Ryan Tannehill can carry you to that next level. Week 16 against the Colts, I do believe they pick up this game as well, but I think at this point, the Chargers are sitting at 14-1, because this would be 13-1. Well, yeah, 13-1, I believe. Obviously, 13-1, 13-2, 14-2. So now it would be 14-2. I don't know. I believe at this point it could be a trap game. Yeah, I mean, the Colts could be playing for the division or like a division lead at this point, and I think it could be a trap game. Week 17, I am dropping the game against LA Rams. If you watched the last 3 videos, I believe the Rams will repeat. I believe the Rams will still be as good as they were last year, just in a different way. Obviously, losing Von Miller hurts from your playoff run. The beginning part of when he was in the Rams uniform during the regular season, he was not that good, but turned it up when it mattered most, and that's going to hurt them. But I don't think as bad as people are making it out to be. And then week 18, obviously, I have them picking up the game against the Broncos. I think at this point, they could sit their starters, but if the Chiefs are making a late season run at the division, I think they could obviously play their starters to, get that divisional crown. Obviously, I have them conference rank number 2, 15-2 record, 5-1 record in the division, and 11-1 in conference. I think the only game they drop in conference is to the Chiefs, and also, ironically, they drop it in division. So I think that's going to be it. I don't think I have any other major points on the Los Angeles Chargers. So make sure to like button down below. Make sure to comment whether you thought I missed on a lot of these, I hit on a lot of these, or I'm just a terrible offensive or terrible guesser on or predictor of NFL schedules. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. It helps me know that you guys like my content and stuff like that. So peace.